Okay, we are back. Another question we have again. We say, okay, the question says solve the value of q in the equation. We have 2q squared minus 3q is equal to minus 1. If you watch well, this doesn't represent quadratic, right? So let's exchange it. We say 2q squared minus 3q. This one will cross this equation sign. If it crosses, it will become plus 1 is equal to 0. Now this looks exactly like quadratic equation. I will make use of 2q squared minus q minus 2q plus 1 is equal to 0. Do you know what I did here? So this is minus 1 times minus 2 will give you 3. So I just replace minus 1. Q is 1 now. This q, instead of writing 1, I just had to write q, which is 1q. I just replace this with q, because if you add this together, it will give you minus 3q. Yes, now, if you add this together, it will give you minus 3q, which is what we have here. So I just replace it with this. It's still the same thing, right? Yes. So let's solve from here. What do we have in common here? We have q. We say q on brackets. Q divide 2q squared will give us 2q. So q divide q will have minus 1. Instead of writing q, right, we just put the 1. On bracket, we are done with this. We are done with this young man here. So if you watch here, what do they have in common here? We have 2q plus 1. They have nothing in common actually. So what's going to be here outside this bracket is 1. Because they have nothing in common, so it's 1 that should be outside the bracket. So 1 times 2q give us 2q minus 1 give us 1 equal to 0. If you watch it, we'll have 2q minus 1, 2q minus 1, so we just have to pick one of it. Don't need to make use of the two. We just say 2q minus 1 on brackets. Then we'll bring down this on brackets, q minus 1 close bracket equal to 0. So we can decide to say 2q minus 1 is equal to 0. You don't need to put the bracket. Or q minus 1 is equal to 0. We are not done yet. Let's solve separately. So we'll say 2q minus 1 is equal to 0. What are we going to do here? To remove this 2q, multiply both sides by 2. So first of all, we'll say 2q, if this minus 1 cross this equation sign, it will be 2q equal to 1. It will not be, the sign will change now, normal mathematics, but it will not be, we will not add plus 1, we know it's just 1. Just 1. So multiply both sides by 2, we'll say 2 here 1, 2 here 1. Now we'll have q is equal to, here we'll say q is equal to half. So we'll do the same thing here. Q minus 1 is equal to 0. Q is equal to, we'll move this minus 1. If you cross this equation sign, it will be plus 1, which is just 1. So we'll have Q is equal to 1. So we can decide to say Q is equal to half, or Q is equal to 1. And that is our final answer. Thank you.